Argentine Grand Prix, what can I say? Galactic Marco Marquez, Stellar Alex Marquez. This needs to be said. They are the two brothers who are monopolizing. MotoGP, just like Ducati, is monopolizing it. Back to the old days, top 5 spots, 5 Ducatis. I believe that things have changed very little compared to last year, despite the various concessions, despite the money invested by Aprilia, Yamaha, and Honda, but not by KTM. Unfortunately, due to the financial situation, I believe that if we keep going like this, the championship will take a turn. Good for Marco and bad for the show. He really got himself back in shape. The old Marquez is back. He worked a lot on his fitness. And then, if you put a phenomenon like Marquez on the best bike, I don't think there can be any other result than this. If you've noticed, Marquez doesn't crash anymore. Very clean riding, in my opinion. He has worked, I repeat, a lot on his fitness, on his shoulder, on the injuries he had. And now it's really difficult, truly. Beating him is not to say almost impossible. A beautiful third place for Morbidelli, who is returning to being Franco. From the days of Yamaha, when he was the runner-up in the World Championship. He's good, he rides this bike well, but everyone is riding this 2024 bike. Good. The leap forward beyond Marquez has been made by all the riders who had the 2024 bike this year. You can see it with Gian Antonio too, beautiful race, his as well. So, Alex Marquez has made a significant leap forward compared to last year, both in terms of riding and mentality. He's really battling with his brother, even in this race. Maybe even better than the first because he was in the lead, because he lost less distance. He lost less than half of what he did in the last Thailand Grand Prix. So I would say a big round of applause for Ducati and a Marquez who has returned to his former self, and with him back to how he was, it's almost impossible to beat him. Do you know anything, Bagnaia? Pecco, definitely. He has problems of not just technical issues, but I don't think that's it, because Marquez's bike and Pecco's bike are identical. He's probably more of a professional and rides when the bike is 100% in shape. But it must be said that his teammate, Marc Marquez, is really struggling. The others are less affected because they aren't teammates, so they experience it a bit from the outside. Pecco is in the pit. And he's probably seen the difference and this gap. In my opinion, 60% is a mental problem. It won't be easy for Ducati to manage this situation, from the various Tardosis to Gigi, because Pecco feels like the number one in the Ducati pit, and he's right. You see this leadership being eroded day by day, and I hope it definitely has a final blow, because he is very strong. He won 2 world championships in MotoGP. It's no coincidence. Go Pecco, even though right now it might be the toughest situation of his career. Also because we are at the beginning of the championship. As for the others, I would say it's the first time Honda has even put so many riders, even 4 in the top 10 since he was disqualified. Ogura, due to the irregular software issue. Of all the manufacturers, I believe Honda is the one that has worked the best overall. We thought it would be Yamaha, but Honda, 5th, is an exceptional Marco. A little bit, Mir is doing great, and Marini is improving. So I would say that in these Grand Prix, we've seen 5 Ducatis, 2 KTMs, and 3 Hondas. There are so many, guys. What's a bit disappointing, but also due to a lot of bad luck, is Aprilia. Martin is missing. And so it's really difficult to try to understand his value. Ogura, like Rookie, has shown that this bike is very competitive. Pecco, the race of Belzecchi. The problems are mainly with the time attack and the starts. And if the time attack doesn't start in the first 2 rows, it starts to get tough to aim for the podium. And the starts are super important. Come on, Marco, because you're amazing, and 2 years ago you showed what you're worth. a bit in the corner, Yamaha, Yamaha. We all expected more. We saw it even in the practice sessions. Instead, Bashirut, something that still isn't working, maybe it's still missing some important development, or maybe there's some part of the development that's not right. Quartararo, seeing him there makes it clear that we're just not there yet. On the other hand, his team is just right. Miller. But for the rest, I think we're just at the beginning. Anyway, it's a great championship because in the meantime, the teams are working. The concessions are needed. Let's see how it goes. But it's clear that Ducati's dominance is still like last year. Maybe even worse or better for Ducati because of the 2024 bike. Now all the riders have it, and this is a bike that, frankly, I see her as unbeatable. We're waiting for Austin, even though Austin is Marc Marquez's territory where he flies, and we expect Marquez to have a decent advantage over the others. Maybe Alex, we'll see. Or maybe Gian Antonio, maybe Belzecchi. I don't know, but I believe it will be a championship under Ducati's banner. Guys, how beautiful is the town of Termas Canet-Paninondo? Seeing this Grand Prix, just the right heat, Prosecco, right? But the best thing, guys, is something else. Seeing all three of them on the podium toasting with Prosecco. Can you believe that the riders do this while going 350 kilometers an hour? Can you imagine after the race they even drink the bottle of Prosecco? It does them good. It relaxes them. So let's do it too, even if we're not riders. Let's do it responsibly. The riders do it too. They do it at the end of the race when they've given it their all. A Prosecco makes you feel reborn. Long live Prosecco.